My cheating wife wanted an open relationship to justify her affair. She is trying hard to control me. So I ghosted her and did this. I, male 32, am a regular guy, married to Kat, name changed, female 30, for the last 2 years. We dated for 2 years before getting married. These are not good between us lately. It all started 2 months ago, when my wife came up to me and suggested that we open up the marriage to spice up our life. I was shocked at a recommendation. I never imagined that she would ask for this. Guys, I'm not being entitled to her or a controlling husband, but after knowing Kat for so many years, it is hard to believe that she wants to try this out. Let's admit that open marriage is a risky game, and more often than not, it ends up hurting at least one of the partners, and in most cases, both of them. I made it very clear to her that open marriage is complete no for me. It's not that I don't want to explore things or spice up our married life, but I want those to be within the realm of a closed marriage, with no third human being involved in it. She was disappointed because it's a rare occasion that I deny her something. I love her dearly, and more often than not, obliged to all her demands even if it becomes a compromise for me. Although she didn't say anything after that conversation, but I could sense that she was not taking it well, I wanted to get into the roots of the situation. I wanted to understand her thought process behind the suggestion. I started questioning my ability in bed. I wanted to talk her out, but she kept herself shut. Kat is a consultant and has a hectic work schedule. She often has to work in different time zones, which takes her work-life balance for a toss. I too have a busy work schedule, but I don't have to stretch beyond her time zone, so I'm better off in that way. Due to a work schedule, I wasn't able to discuss my concerns with her. I blamed myself for snapping at her with an impulsive no. I should have asked for more context before passing on my decision. I felt awful. Nearly 2 weeks after the incident, one day, I got home early from work and prepared a favorite meal for dinner. She was delighted at my gesture. We hugged and spent quality time with each other. I used that opportunity to ask her about her proposal for an open marriage. She immediately switched the gear into a frustration mode, accusing me of tricking her into a mind game. I did not trick her in anything. I just wanted to have a good time with her and understand her point of view on open marriage. I lost my mind at her accusations and asked her blatantly if I was unable to satisfy her needs. She opened up after that. She told me that she got a bunch of interns in her office who were just out of college in her early 20s. They party wildly and hook up at any given opportunity. Their interesting tales of adventure have put these ideas of open marriage in her head. She admitted to having a FOMO when her young colleagues discussed their cool lives of wild parties and thrilling hookups. I heard her out and I got her point of view. It is natural for any human being to get swayed by shiny objects. I told her that I'm not very comfortable opening up her marriage because I treasure our relationship. Our bond is very special to me. Before I met Kat, I was also one of those freshers who live life on the edges. I used to do the exact same thing as anyone in their 20s does, but I experienced the emotional turmoil that everyone does, hollowness. These excitements turned into emptiness after a while, and so when I met Kat, I found solace. After dating her, I never wanted to go back to my previous life. I proposed to her and got married. She was the one I wanted to have a baby and grow old with. I poured out my heart to her and reasoned out my take on open marriage. I also told her that despite this, if she was really in that interest in opening up the marriage, then we could think about it again. She denied that instantly. She seemed to understand my concern and nodded all the while during the conversation. I thought that she resonated with my opinion, but I was wrong. She was not. Something was normal for the next few days, but after a week or so, I again noticed a severe change in her behavior. She was behaving coldly with me. When I asked her, she shrugged off, saying that it was some work-related stress. In the last few weeks, she's acting terribly. She's throwing all kinds of tantrums on the silliest of things. She's mocking me by calling me an outdated person. I asked her what does she mean by that? To what she said that I'm an adamant person to cling to my ideology and I don't follow the trend. I wonder what does she mean by following the trend? I have a decent fashion sense and follow all the latest music and web series. I asked her if she was pissed off of my reluctance to open the marriage, to which she just nodded and said that, maybe. What kind of answer was that? I was confused by her mixed reaction. All this while, her work schedule got tighter. Earlier, It was just a few days in a month when she had to put up late at the office. But now she's coming late every other day. And some days, I see her coming home at dawn. When I confronted her regarding this, she told me that she was on a promotion path, since she needs to prove her merit to get that position. She has always been an ambitious woman, and I adore her for that. To be honest, I'm worried if she is telling me the truth, but I don't want to put any negative thoughts in my mind or jump to any conclusion. Something happened yesterday which triggered me to write the post. I've read hundreds of posts from this community and hence wanted to pour out my heart and seek any advice from all of you. Hear me out. Yesterday, I reached home at 7 p.m., a little earlier than usual. I reached 8 p.m. on most days. I was craving lasagna for a long time, so I decided to prepare that for dinner. It was Kat's favorite too. It took me an hour and a half to prepare the lasagna, just the way Kat likes. I garnished it and kept it ready to surprise Kat. It was already 10 by that time. I messaged Kat to check when she was coming home. She responded that she would be late, maybe after midnight. It felt low when my enthusiasm died down. I spent the next hour engrossing myself in my video games. I was hungry, but I wanted to have dinner with Kat. Something inside me urged me to go and pick up Kat from her office. I had never done this before unless we had to go somewhere after work. I thought it was the best idea to kill the time and give her a warm surprise. I took my car and rushed to her office. Her office was a standalone building, and it was pretty easy to spot anyone entering or leaving the building. I would have outside the office for a good 30 to 45 minutes, watching the shops getting shut and the streets getting deserted. It was 12:30 a.m., but there was no sign of Kat. She was not responding to my texts, and I didn't want to bother her with my calls. For a moment, I thought that she might have left the office while I was on the way. I went upstairs to her office and inquired to the reception. The office was still hustling and bustling with the night shift employees. The receptionist told me that Kat had already left the office. I wanted to punch myself for an idea of coming down to the office. I was sure that she left the office while I was on the way. I drove back home and guess what? Kat wasn't at home either. My feet were trembling with fear. She was still offline and did not see my last message. I went into panic mode. Cheating was the last thing that came to my mind. I was concerned about her safety. It was too late to contacting her work friends. Besides, she had joined the company 6 months ago, so I didn't have contact with her colleagues. I didn't know what to do. Tired and anxious, I dozed off on a couch. I woke up with the first light of the sun and rushed into my room impulsively. I saw Kat sleeping cozily in the bed. I rushed to her, talked her up, and slept. When I woke up in the morning, she was already ready to leave for the office. I asked her once she came home last night. She said, 3 a.m. It was a hectic day at work. I was held up on a meeting with an Asian client. I asked her, when did you leave the office? She responded nonchalantly, 2:30-ish? I was shocked. Her answer gave chills to my bones. It was either the receptionist who gave me the false information that Kat wasn't at the office at 12:30 a.m. or it was Kat, who was lying about being at the office until 2:30 a.m. I was still feeling dizzy with last night's hassle, hence did not say anything further. She called me today in the afternoon asking if I was at her office yesterday. The receptionist informed her that I went there at midnight to check for her. I wonder what kind of shift is the receptionist doing at the office. Nevertheless, I told her the truth and the reason for showing up at her office. She was silent for a moment and then said that she left her office in the afternoon for meeting in her client's office, which is located in a different part of the city. That's the reason she was not found at her own office. I was perplexed by her answer. She rephrased her statement and said that her client is an agent company, but they have an office set up in the US as well. Yesterday, she went to her client's US office, which is located in the other part of the city, where she was in Zoom calls with the other employees based out of the agent time zone. I'm still confused about what to do. The part of me wants to believe her is this is not a new concept. Companies all over the world have set up their offices in the US and people work in different time zones. But my situation is completely different. I'm clueless and helpless. I don't know what to do next. Should I wait and let this pass? Or should I confront my thoughts to Kat again? I have confronted her several times in the past, which I have described in the post above. Any suggestions and advice are appreciated. Thanks much. Update 1. Thank you everyone for all your valuable suggestions. I took some of your advice seriously and investigated this matter. It's been 2 weeks since my last update, but I got some shocking news. Please bear with me if I just ran out here. I tried several ways to get her email or her phone's password, but she kept it too discreet. I paid my brains to come up with several ideas to dig out the truth, but I failed. The last 2 weeks have been pretty much the same, where Kat continued to come home late from work. We both were unanimously giving cold shoulder to each other, with very few occasional and transactional conversations in between. 2 days ago, she was talking to her mom, who was suffering from a kidney problem for the last few years, and her recent blood test did not show a good sign. I was working on my PC while she was lying on the bed and talking to her mom. Out of concern, I took her phone to check up on her mom. While mother-in-law was narrating her tiresome routine of tests and medicine, something clicked in my head. I picked up the phone screen and found that it was unlocked, and there were some chat notifications. I got up and started walking into the room while talking to mother-in-law. I casually went inside the washroom while talking on the phone. It unlocked it from the inside. I put the phone on speaker and pretended to listen to her while reading the messages through the notification. The notification revealed that Kat was supposed to meet someone that day for a fun ride. I opened her social media teams and boy, oh boy, you guys were right. She was already having an affair. She was sleeping with those novice co-workers. After a couple of minutes, she realized that I took her phone with me inside the washroom. She started banging on the door to get her phone back. I didn't have enough time to read all the conversation line by line, so I scanned her gallery to find some concrete proof. The gallery was filled with explicit pictures of my beautiful wife in a compromising position with her coworkers. I emailed all those pictures to myself and deleted the history. She is cheating on me with her multiple colleagues. I felt so sick that I wanted to throw up. Meanwhile, my wife kept knocking on the door, asking for her phone back. I couldn't bear to hear her nagging voice. I unlocked the door, swiftly passed her the phone, and locked the washroom again. I wanted to rush out of the washroom and confront her right away, but instead, I calmed myself down and let that anger pass. The chat notifications had the details of the location and the time. They were supposed to meet that day. I went out of the washroom, took the car keys, and drove off to that location. While I was leaving the house, she called my name in a faint voice, but I didn't bother to turn back. I went to that hotel and took the darkest table in the lobby. I wasn't there to cause a scene. I just wanted to see how comfortable she was on her way to cheat on me. She was supposed to be there at 5 p.m. I reached there at 3 p.m., and by the time it was 5, I was down with countless shots. I wished to have confronted her in the house, but God knows what I was thinking at that time. Maybe I was too numb and not ready for a face-off. I wasn't ready for the face-off even in the lobby. It was 6, but she didn't turn up. I thought that she got a whiff that I might be there, and they would have changed the location. Nevertheless, I was too drunk and drained to pick my brains at that time, as that there continued to cult my drinks. It was almost 7 when I saw a cat, but that sight, my world came crashing down. My vision was blurred by then. Like, come on, 4 hours of drinking can do a lot more than blurred vision. I finally remembered what happened after that. I was reacting in autopilot mode. I got up and staggered my way to the reception area where she was registering her entry. I tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Good luck with your fun ride." I might have said something else too, but this is the summarized version of whatever I blurted out at the moment. She held my hand and said that she could explain. I don't remember what else she said. I could only recollect that I shrugged her off, freeing my arms from her claws, and stormed out of the hotel. I hailed a cab to my friend's place and passed out at his door. The next thing I remember is waking up on my friend's couch yesterday afternoon. I slept for 16 hours straight. It was Sunday afternoon. My friend Lee made me some lunch along with fresh lemonade. I narrated to him my entire sob story. He asked me to immediately freeze all the joint accounts, change the passwords, and get an STD done right away. For someone who had been betrayed so badly, money and all these privacy checks was the last of the concern. I reached out to my phone, which was lying dead. I plugged in on the charger and switched it on. The moment the screen appeared, it got flooded with notifications of 100+ missed calls, 50+ voicemails, and countless messages of pleading. I ignored all of it. After a few minutes of switching on the phone, I started getting calls and messages from her again. I blocked her from all platforms. I felt so disgusted that I didn't even read her messages and emails completely. Today is Monday. I've called in sick for the next few days at my office. I don't know how to deal with this. I've been drinking heavily and want to run away from all of this. I don't know what to do now. My friend is Googling some of the best lawyers in the vicinity as I write this post. I'll keep you all posted. Update 2. It's 2 months since the last update. Thank you for all the PMs and care on my posts. After reading the comments on my last update, I decided to take back charge of my life, and as I suggested, I immediately froze all the joint accounts, changed the password of all the vulnerable data, and got STD tests done. Thank God nothing came out of the tests. Lee helped me find a lawyer, and I shared all the pictures with him that I collected from Kat's phone. I settled with Lee for a while until the divorce was settled. He was looking for a roommate, so it's a fair deal for him too. All this while, Kat has been trying to contact me, pleading with me to get back together and start fresh. She contacted Lee and begged him to help her reconcile the marriage. She told him that she loved me and all those hookups meant nothing to her. She was just exploring herself. She wanted to feel desirable. I don't know, guys, if I am MIA on these Gen Z concepts of feeling desirable or if this entire concept itself is a sham. I don't know. After a few days of my last update, I sent Lee to my house with the keys to pick up my stuff. I was hoping that she would be at the office considering that it was a normal working day. Lee found her at home. She broke down in front of Lee and asked him for help. He was smart enough to tell her that I was put up in a hotel and not at his home. He knew that she can show up at his apartment and create a scene. She informed Lee that she has left that job. She confessed that it all started when those bunch of interns started flirting with her at work. They made her feel desirable and beautiful again. They got her to taste all kinds of stuff and experience all those activities in which they were involved, including the illicit ones. She started the physical thing as a one-time experience, but later got addicted to that thrill. Those guys were interns and did not make enough money, so they preyed upon their senior, Kat, to pay their bills. Eventually, she did realize that they were sucking onto her money, but by then she was already enjoying that life. Lee asked her why she did not confess all these to me before. She said that she spoke to me to open up the marriage as a guilty conscience, but by denial to do so pulled her back from confessing anything to me. What a crap. What was the point of asking for an open marriage after cheating on me? Kat has been resisting signing the divorce papers and has shifted the blame on me that it was I who has motivated her to go for those one-night stands to gain some experience. What a lame excuse. Nonetheless, she could not prove her false claims. Now, she's asking for her alimony for her mental distraught which is caused due to the divorce. If there's anyone who needs to be compensated, it's me. I had to go through the terrible feelings of betrayal. Later that month, her sister Amy, name changed, contacted me and pleaded for reconciliation. She told me how Kat is going through the tough times which is leading to severe depression because those interns have malign her reputation at the office. They have apparently shown pictures of Kat in a compromising state, having fun with them to other senior employees. They mocked Kat for being an easy catch. She became the center of gossip at the office, hence she had to leave. The senior employees have passed on to the hot gossip to others in their network, outside of the office, and now Kat is having a difficult time getting a referral from her network. I told her that Kat was the one who ditched our stable married life for a thrilling experience. Now she has to deal with the mess which comes with it. Anyways, I'm living all with my life. I've kept my drinking habits in check and have been concentrating on working out, eating healthy, and keeping myself busy at work. The divorce proceeding is going on. Thanks to Kat's resistance, it got delayed, but my lawyer assured me that it will have lined up soon.